Hello everybody, this is ZigZagZog coming to you from somewhere in the world, and we're back to continue our playthrough of Empire Total War featuring Darthmod and the 40 unit save version. Well, we ended up the turn ready to start a new year ahead of us, or a new turn in front of us. We got a lot going on right now. We're at war with 6 nations if you want to include the Barbary pirates. Sweden right now is all quiet on that front. Savoy has sent an army into France. We battle with Spain down in Central America, and we're battling with the Iroquois, pushing them most recently out of Detroit. So we got a lot going on. Let's go jump right in and see what this next turn is going to bring to us. All right, we've had an enemy raid on a settlement. This is down in Yucatan farmland. So one of those armies they sent up, yeah, right here, battled the farmlands in the Mexico territory. Yeah, that's all part of that one big territory there. The rest of the armies that looked like they were going to move north at one point decided to just park it on this unfinished port area of Guatemala. Looks like we're going to end up battling in Guatemala itself at some point when we decide to go there. Let's just check out every other notice we got, just make sure we don't miss anything. Peasant farm in the Michigan territory is rebuilt right now. Path is blocked. So they have a little force in here. I actually I could just take over the region, do what I will with it. What does my force look like down here? Let's kind of get a sense of what we would be battling with here. I have 1 cannon to go against, and he's only got a mob up here, Tufangis. So that's not much threat. It doesn't seem like it would be much threat, so why don't we? Not that we will necessarily be able to hold it, but this one has a fort, so if I did or was able to do a build up, this is where I'd be able to do it. But more than likely it will just attract their attention and then we'll have to pull out. But hey, at the same time we're taking a territory away from them and gaining some experience. Let's see if they want to surrender. And surrender is refused. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in and do this fort battle. Right now they do unfortunately have a mortar, so that will be working against us in the plan to attack here. What else are we looking at? The mob, garrison musketmen, and another armed populace. So this is not, other than the mortars, we're not looking too bad here. So let's get in there. We'll see you on the battlefield. Okay, so here we are in the battlefield. At least where the AI deployed us is pretty level, pretty straightforward to the fort. There is a nice little hill over here in the distance, and I think that's where I'm going to set up my artillery and then keep everybody else kind of out of range, I hope, of their mortar, and go at it as we can. Either take down the walls, or if we have enough, if this gives us enough height, then we'll see if we can't arc over and take out the mortars itself. So depending on how that works or how high this hill is, well, that's the plan. So I'll see you right back here as soon as I finish setting the units up. All right, and here is the setup. We have the artillery set up on the hill. I don't know if it'll quite have the arc we're going to need to get over that top wall. So we'll start out again. Well, we may take the first shot and see if it'll be any good. Otherwise, we'll refocus on the walls real quick. I do have a force kind of hiding over behind these buildings here, hopefully enough to protect us from bombardments, although the mortars do have a high arc, but we'll see if the buildings will be enough to protect us. And the rest of the forces are over back towards this corner lined up, and a cavalry over here, so that we can come at them from more than one direction. We'll take the walls on the backside as we try to breach the holes we put in the wall over here, and we'll get more aggressive if we are able to take out the mortars. We will get more aggressive with climbing the walls, just because we do outnumber them so much, but not until I'm sure what the situation is with the mortars. So let's get started. And the mortars are on the inside. In fact, there they are. Let's see if we can get a shot inside on the mortars. And they don't seem to be doing much. They don't seem to be able to like that angle and shot, so let's just blast through the walls then. Now they're excited. Now they're moving. nice opening salvo on the walls. So we're going to kind of sit back. We're going to find out if their mortars are doing any. I don't see any fire yet being shown against our units, so I'm going to assume we're out of range. Although I don't think even the artillery should be out of range, but maybe we are just out of range, because I think the mortar range is like 500 and the cannon range, if I'm correct, is more like 800, so that may be the reason. We got the walls down to another up to 71% now, weakened, and we're gonna see if this next salvo will be enough. It may not quite be enough, but it's gonna get us close. And the walls, I think the walls came down. With that in mind, let's have a look and see if we have a sight. Do we have sight or a line of sight right into the mortars, maybe? Now let's just punch a hole over here before we proceed to advance. 2 holes is better than 1. All right, we have the walls down to 88% strength. 1 more round should do it, so we'll get ready as we watch these guys get the cannon ready for the final volley. Should bring down the second breach. Then I noticed in the meantime that some of the Dakili, the Tufangis, please excuse any pronunciation, have come a bit outside the walls. So as soon as this breach is made, we're going to see if we can't refocus on those that are outside the wall. And the walls have come down, so let's retarget real quick. And let's start bringing our forces forward. We have a breach to work with. We have a breach to move through. We'll come forward with our infantry minus the cavalry, at least to start. We're also going to bring the infantry on this back row forward and start advancing toward the walls. Coming at them at more than one angle. And even with those mortars firing at us, hopefully we will still... Oh, they're still idle, so we haven't even gotten close enough yet. Although it sounds like my cannon have silenced. Oh, because those units went back inside the wall, so it doesn't look like I have the ability to shoot over a wall. I wonder if we can shoot in a narrow opening between the wall, if it'll allow us to do that. Apparently not, as they just stand still. So let's see if we can't target the corner. Yeah, they seem to like that target. So we'll see if we can't open yet another breach in case these openings stall, especially with the mortars shooting at us once we get a little closer. We're starting to come out from hiding behind the buildings here. And we are starting. Yep, we're already in mortar range. We were not very far out of mortar range, as you can see. Guys that were rattled are getting back up to join their comrades. So the hit, the initial hit is always worse. Oh, here we go. Boom. The initial hit always looks the worst. And A lot of these guys end up start getting back up as they're rattled. They're not out of it yet. He's taking the brunt of my attacks right now, that's for sure. Now he's targeting elsewhere also. We got more. He's spreading his fire out, which is just fine with, whoa, except for direct hits like that. Just fine if he wants to spread out the fire and not decimate any one regiment. Oof, that was one particularly nasty hit. Looks like we're getting close to breaching through the corner. Down to 50%. Okay, we're going to run up at this point through this opening and start shooting to the interior. Yeah, we're still fresh. We're still fresh here too. We'll wait till we get just a little closer. Where's the rest of our troops? Okay, they're still coming through the town back there. Oh, they're not liking the small arms fire. Returning any fire. What's the problem? There we go. Let's take this corner position. When they're coming out for melee combat. And these forces outnumber us greatly, so let's close in. Both sides are coming just a full direct charge. Bring up some supporting forces. To run now because we seem to be a bit rattled here over on the left. 55th Regiment of Foot is starting to waver. They are highly outnumbered. That's got to be part of it. We're going to see if we can get through this opening with these troops right here and start working on these mortars. We've stiffened up a little bit, confident, winded. We have troops for support now. Now it's time to get the action going on this side. our frame rate is plummeting. Oh, they're picked back up. And we are retreating. But we have them in a crossfire of sorts, so let's see if that can have an impact on them, if they're going to continue to charge against us. And we are going to just charge on into the mortars here. I don't know if we'll make it. They're bringing some interference in the way. Okay, those units that are not moving against the walls, we're going to bring over this way in front of the doorway that hopefully once we take the walls we can open up for our access. And the mortars have been attacked. And they should be out of action soon, which will greatly help the cause. And our own force that went in there to attack will probably not hold up well, especially with the armed populace there, unless we just fight a lot better. Okay, the enemy general has fallen from the mortar unit. They haven't given up yet. There's still 2 mortars that are still intact, but now there's nobody left to run them except one. And there we go. We continue our melee assault here, although this unit will not survive, I don't think. I don't think we're able to take the walls in the back, but we are breaking through on the left. Getting them to waver a little bit under our combined fire here. Time to bring in some cavalry. And we are starting to take the walls. In fact, we're going to take this force and try to bring them over here to see if we can't take the gate and open the gate. Yeah, we're already wavering in the center. That was brave action on their part to take out the mortar, but they couldn't hold up. We're about to run out here. I'm going to stretch our line out to see if we can't bring more guns to bear. In fact, we're down to 87 here. Let's withdraw. Have the gates yet? Do we have the gates yet? Can we cross through and take the gates? And we can start entering the premises. No, we don't have the gates yet, so we can't go through. What's it going to take to get the gate, to take the gates? The plan was, oh, that's probably because they're down there contesting. Alright, we can move to the interior now with our forces over here. We have cleaned them out. Cavalry can move up. Let's see how they do against musketmen here. We can bring our general up. We should have brought him up a long time ago for support. That's our retreating unit still, I believe. And we have the gates. The gates are finally ours. So let's charge through. Wreak some havoc on the armed populace. Another frame rate drop moment. We're seeing the armed populace waver just a little bit now. We'll come down off the walls now to provide some support to the unit coming through the gates. Okay, our units really aren't getting through the gate very well. That's why we brought them down from the wall. Let's try if we tell them again to get in through the gates, if that might become a reality, and we bash through hand-to-hand combat on these armed populace units. And they're starting to fold in the center as they get fire from 2 different sides, and soon 3 different sides. I was bringing my regiment of horse in, but they were routing, but then they regrouped and stopped my cavalry from getting inside. In fact, we'll bring the commanding general over to this gate because he's I wanted him to come inside, and he was gonna come in the hard way, but it looks like everybody just about is breaking now. We got one more. The regiment of the garrison of musketmen is about all that's left, and they're finally breaking, so that may be just about it. And there we go. So we have taken over the territory down in India. And we only lost 835 compared to their 2124, so wonderful job, better than I could have expected, but it's because we were able to blast through and take out the mortar before too long. It was really doing a number on us, that's for sure, that single mortar regiment. Who knows how much time we have to last here. The one thing I will do is I will focus on replenishing ourselves, making sure we have the money for that. And our construction, just in case they don't move at us right away. Wonder what the now we're hanging in there, so I'm not going to put any money into redoing any of their buildings at this point, not yet. Just because I just can't afford to build more units yet to be able to come over here and support them. So I'm going to keep this fleet here to keep an eye on them. And in fact, why don't we bring our missionary down for as long as we're holding? He's got 44% conversion over here. And as long as we're down here in this province, we might as well get some conversion happening down here also. All right, let's take a look in the Americas for us real quick. And down in Panama, that's where we are curious right now. We got an army in this area, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's an army of 10 right here, protecting the unprotected, or the unbuilt port, the only envisioned port so far. Probably what we'll do is we will take on these 2 miscellaneous units down here on the way, because otherwise they'll just come down in here and start destroying all our buildings that we have. So we'll do a little pit stop on the way. And are these guys all repairing? They are all being replenished. So we want to get the fleet over there that now has our cannon. And let me just see how depleted they really look. I guess the best thing to do at this point, it won't hurt us, we'll hold off 1 turn, and then we'll take out the miscellaneous units, and we shouldn't have to stop and recover from that because it's only 2 units, and then we will come up and see if we can't challenge at the port. Right now, they do outnumber us, so I do want to get a little stronger than we are right now. As a matter of fact, just to be safe, because right now I have 7, 8 with the artillery, and if I am able to recruit just a couple more, then we match up to them just fine. It's just a matter of getting them over there. Let's take a look up towards Iroquois territory now. And I think we're going to start making the march. Let's go see what it looks like here as far as public order if we are to move out. And it looks like we can handle moving out of there. The army itself is getting pretty well healed. There's not too much left that needs to be healed. In fact, let's just... there was some. But let's get that recruitment and replenishment happening. Let's take our troops out. And let's just double check public order, and it's sitting okay. We're going to hang in there. It'll hang in there. Yeah, especially once the magistrate is built and upgraded. So let's start making us make the incursion. Whoops, what happened? Niagara Algonquin territory. So this is not Iroquois territory all of a sudden anymore. Portugal has taken over this territory. So somehow Portugal has gotten into the mix here and blocked my path up to defeat the remaining Iroquois territory. So I wonder where else in the world. We got tribes here. We have tribes everywhere. So there's some wheeling and dealing that's going on between. I wonder where Portugal. I bet you. I wonder. Let's take a look over in India. Iroquois Confederacy is now in India. Oh, that is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Some wheeling dealing going on behind my back, and that has prevented me from moving up in the Americas to where I wanted to destroy the Iroquois. I'm wondering if we need to work on some peace at this point between these. It means I'm going to have to take New York as one of my victory points along the way. So victory conditions, we have New York in the Americas, and then we'll have to focus on what we need in the Indian, over in India. So there you go, new plans. Let's say if we can make peace, if they're up to it now that they've kind of been scattered to the wind a little bit. Let's see if they're open for some peace. And we are now at peace with the Iroquois. The other thing we might as well take a look at is I'm not interested in continuing any kind of conflict with Sweden right now. Are they? I don't think they were before. Well, there's some more weird trading going on too. Sweden owns Algiers. Okay, let's see if they're open for any kind of negotiations for peace. They may want to whip my hide. Yeah, they're insulted. They are insulted. So we'll hang in there. Now, one thing that happened between turns, and this is the most amazing thing that we're going to take a look at, and that is right outside Paris. And that army of Genoa, or Savoy, excuse me, moved right up to our doorstep, did not try to siege us or anything. They just moved up here, nice and close. Unfortunately, I have no idea. Now, if they have no artillery, that explains exactly why they did not siege us. I think what I'm going to do is sit inside here, though, and look at the army and see how much it's going to cost. Well, I only have 500 left to try and upgrade and heal these guys back up to full strength. Because it would take 3,687. Now, I only hesitate. I hesitate only just because the amount of cavalry he has on me if we end up in open field battle. It's the only thing that makes me hesitate right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the army. We're going to re-recruit and replenish where we can, which is one freaking whole unit. There we go. And we'll see what they do next turn. If not, we're probably going to have to come out and go to battle with them. Let's just find out public order wise. just because they are in our territory. Yeah, resistance to foreign occupation. Oh, that's against me, so that's starting to diminish. So actually, we're okay. We're okay right now. The way it hurts that they're there right now is growth because of devastation and occupation by foreign armies. That's where it hurts us. We're getting no growth right now in the France region. One thing we're going to do is we're going to take these healed naval ships back out to the main flotilla. And we're out of funds right at the moment. And I want to peek over here. No! Our great ally Britain has not repaired their port yet. Well, we're going to take a pause at this point while I take a look around the map, see what we see, if there's anything else to do. Otherwise, we'll head into our next turn. Okay, a couple quick little things we will do is we will get this rake moved on his way. Now that we know where this army is and what they're doing, we'll get some more eyes down in the Spanish territory. So we can make sure there's no land force there that we also have to worry about. One other thing, after the Iroquois sued for peace, we can go back over here and start worrying about moving our army back down to where we can get more use of it against Spain. So let's start the long trek south back to the Gulf of Mexico.
Down the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico.
There we go. The other thing is I noticed also the ministers. Oh, it looks like I don't remember seeing any kind of election notice. Did you? Did I miss something on the notices down here? I think I did. So we apparently have a new cabinet because they definitely are not as good as the last cabinet, and the election just happened. I knew we were close to one, and so we're going to have to look at some shuffling around here. Stall holder, do we have any pure Navy tactician? He's good for the Army. Bon vivant. Just management anywhere. A lot of bon vivants. Agrarian. Don't put him in treasury. And he is in treasury, so we could probably move him almost anywhere and he'll do better. There we go. Head of state is a tactician, so maybe we can put him in the army and then put the army at the head of state. At least, no. This guy, oh, he's my tactician, so he's the one. Oh, they're both tacticians. Ha ha ha! That's why. What's this guy's strengths? Don't put him in treasury, in other words. And this guy, he's a good administrator, but yeah, probably not going to help us out in treasury. Wow, these ministers just are not as good. So what we're going to do is we're going to try replacing this guy first. And we have an improvement already. And he might help out. No, there we go. -2. So he's just as good as anywhere right here. So we're going to keep it in the Navy. We'd like to do some other upgrades, but that's the way the new cabinet is looking for the moment. All right, looks like we are ready for the new turn. Let's get out there and make it happen. All right, naval shore facilities have completed for us. He's going to switch us automatically to flintlock cannon. We'll take a look at how we want to change our research there. The magistrate has finished up in the Michigan territory. City of Paris now is actually under siege. So they did move to place Paris under siege. Now we can hold out for 5 turns. What I may do, because I'm not so concerned about them being able to defeat us while we're in the city, that's for dang sure. What we're going to do is perhaps bring some more forces down, as long as they don't get intercepted on the way. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take our fleet up north.
Zijn de bevelen, kapitein? Klaar om te wenden. Wacht op nadere orders. Orders ontvangen. Zijn de orders, kapitein?
Yeah, I'm not seeing a big land threat from Sweden right now. We're going to interrupt their trade a little bit, try to gain some income from that since we're up here. In fact, do we see at all the size of the Navy over here? No. Let's move a little closer. Okay, the Navy is still no big threat to us. So we're going to back up here just to cover both trade routes here and do the blockading that way. Recruitment report. And Blackbeard finally killed. Let's find out about this story. The vicious pirate Edward Teach, known to all as Blackbeard, has finally been defeated and killed in battle with the Royal Navy. Even though he has been pardoned under the recent Act of Grace, Blackbeard was still targeted as a dangerous freebooter by the governor of Virginia, who commissioned 2 sloops under the command of Lieutenant Maynard to track him down. Eventually finding Blackbeard's ship in a North Carolina inlet, Maynard attacked Teach's ship Adventure, giving chase as it attempted to cut anchor and escape, managing to fire on Adventure's rigging and forcing it ashore. Maynard ordered his crew below so that Blackbeard would board his sloop. As predicted, he took the bait and boarded with 10 men unprepared for the attack of Maynard's men. During the fighting, Blackbeard was cornered and eventually killed by blood loss from multiple sword blows and gunshot wounds. His head was later hacked off and hung from the bow of the sloop. So you can say glorious or unglorious ending for the pirate Blackbeard. All right, we're going to sit here and stew on whether we just need to come out now or not. But I think what I'm going to do, I can afford to take it out of here. We're going to take the whole army out of here and move on down the road. And we'll see if that impacts the siege on Paris. The other thing we got to do is we got to get this gentleman moving. And there we go. Yeah, until we upgrade the naval board, let's see what we want to do next. The sextant, which increases our movement range on the campaign map. The seasoning, which lowers upkeep costs for naval units but increases recruitment cost. And flintlock cannon. It reduces our reload time, and that is something actually that I think I agree. We will research that next. What we will do with that in mind, even though we have lots more to spend money on, we're going to see if we can't increase the naval board. And by doing that, we're going to open ourselves to some more abilities, research options. Now let's take a look in the America. Well, first of all, let's take a look in India. And we don't see anybody moving towards us. So let's get down here to start converting the populace down here. Let's take a look at the army down here, and it is in the process of healing and recruiting, so we should be full strength next turn. So as of right now, we're going to take this ship and make sure there's no ports that have grown into being. And we'll combine our navies up here. We're going to repair here. I don't know. My sword has moved its army out, so I wonder if they're staring at us now that we're here. I wonder if we're a tempting target. We're going to spend to repair that one. We have a pleasure garden here. What is... Yeah, even without the pleasure garden, we should still be okay up here. I'm actually now going to spend a little money on repairs since we may be here a little while. I'm not sure about that. We'll think about this. We'll think about this because I still feel that my stay here is going to be temporary. The port, that was a cheap repair, so that was worth it to me. But the rest we'll kind of hold off on. You know, if I do the repair here, I could recruit right where I am if necessary. So yeah, I think, because if they take longer, we can just continue building up a little bit down here. So let's try repairing the building here after all. Talk myself into it. Now the next turn will be when they start marching down towards me. Now we'll head over to the Americas. Take a look at moving our forces out of Panama now. And start cleaning up the peninsula here. In fact, we're going to send the 6th raid over here. pick up our new forces here that we recruited.
Wacht op nadere orders. Marcheren!
Load them up. And bring the 6th rate back. And now we can load up everybody here. I don't believe we're going to have a public order issue. No, we should not.
Klaar om te wenden. Orders! Marcheren!
And let's just double check. Yeah, it's not. The nobles are not feeling wonderful, but they're not feeling bad either. They're neutral is fine for me. Let's combine our fleets. Oh, is it not going to let me? Oh, it's because I have troops on both fleets. So let's forget it. Let's just offload here.
Orders ontvangen. Uit! Aye aye. Wat zijn de orders, kapitein?
And let's offload the others right here.
Naar links!
And that should be everybody. Now we should be able to combine our fleets without a problem. There we go. And we will wait it out and see if they move. Because I think if they move, we'll have a chance to intercede and interrupt them. Otherwise, next turn we'll be making a move in them, clean out the rabble that's left at the northern end of Panama, and then move up to the port here that they're working on building. And right now, yeah, they still haven't recruited anybody else up here, so that's good news. And we are comparable in force now, in my mind. Let's get our column moving south from Michigan. Keep that moving. Okay, now I don't mind spending a little more money. I tell you what I want to do first as far as spending the funds. Let's start upgrading little by little this fleet also. Yeah, let's start taking a look at the weakest ones we have left. That would be this one.
Orders?
Repair that. 32, I think, is 32 guns is the next weakest.
Zijn de orders, kapitein?
Yeah, we'll be able to repair a number this time to get this fleet in a lot better shape.
Orders? Nadere orders.
At least one more.
Orders, kapitein?
Oh, looks like we can probably squeeze in one more.
Orders?
And we have spent our funds more than enough right now. Now we have a rake down here. Did we move the rake already at the beginning of the turn? No, we did not. So let's start getting our eyes on a potential Spanish land force down here. And so far, nothing. And Madrid is wide open. So wouldn't that be nice if we could take care of Savoy down here that's ventured into our territory, and then take care of Spain. So once we once we get rid of that force, it would appear that Savoy is open for the taking, and then perhaps we'll have enough forces that we could, and unless we find a big force just sitting in the shadows down here, we might as well move on Madrid. So much for not getting involved in battles on the continent over here. It's just what we're doing. Okay, well, I think what we'll do is we'll kind of end it at the moment with a lot of upcoming battles pending. We only had one real battle in this episode, but sometimes that's just the way it goes. But we got a big conflict coming up here with our reinforcements. We'll see if he retreats from the siege and goes after our force coming down, or if he even acknowledges its existence and we just come in to take him on next turn. So I hope enough interesting things have happened for you guys. You're interested in what's going on. If you got some suggestions on where I need to focus, please feel free to leave me a comment. Hit that like or dislike button, and we'll see y'all next time, I hope. Love to see you back. This is ZigZagZog signing off from somewhere in the world.